Hello, my people. How are you? How are you doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are watching the replay, you are in the right place. Don't worry. My name is Idala Ogufere. Don't mind the informal way we are going to be doing things. All right. I'm just going to wait for a bit for all my people to join in. Get all your friends, those that you have invited, welcome them. If you are joining us, let us know where you're watching from. Even if you are watching the replay, it's fine. We'll be responding to you. So please let me know where you're watching us from. It's going to be exciting. I'm so excited that everyone is here. And we are ready to go. Okay. So let me know where you're watching us, watching this, joining us from. Let us know. This whole experience started. I'm just going to share my story while we're waiting for our guests. Okay, so my name is Idala Ogufere and I'm a mom to 4 boys. My journey to fitness and journey to this whole experience started in 2015. I had my first son in 2012, but it didn't there was really nothing serious. Most of these gist I'm going to be sharing a lot and breaking down the reasons why certain things happened and certain things can happen to us, even if we don't do things right. Okay, so please, those of us joining, welcome. Let me know where you're watching us from. Please let's know where you're watching us from. Let's know. All right. Yes, I said I'm going to be sharing with you what led to this whole experience that we are experiencing right now. I had my first son in 2012. I had my second son in 2015. And during that experience, I believe, and I always tell people that it's as a result of negative or unhealthy eating habits that we had. Okay, I had bad eating habits, and it was just it's the way culture, how we've been raised, and all of those things. Hi Emma, welcome. So thank you, welcome. What's meaning? Welcome. So I had that experience, and it made me have like high blood pressure. I had high blood pressure after I had given birth to my son. So what most people know is preeclampsia. Okay, most people know preeclampsia when moms have increased blood pressure during pregnancy. But I didn't have anything. Any trace of induced hypertension. Nothing of that sort. But it started happening when. Hi Eniola. It happened when after I had given birth, like almost 2 weeks. 2 weeks after I had given birth, I started having headaches and all of those things. I was having headaches, swollen feet. Those were my own. Hi Eniola from Canada. Hi Lady Yinka from Aja. Welcome. So I had this, and these are the things that we need to look out for. Yes, I know that we are talking about how to shrink mommy tummy. Don't worry, we are getting to that point. All right. So like I said, we're going to be having a lot of conversations here on this page. So let us just chill. All right. Hi Oge from London, welcome. So I had that I had to rush to the hospital when the headache didn't seem to reduce. Got there, checked my BP. It was about like 100. It was what was this thing again? 180 180 over 100. So that's very high, and I've never had high blood pressure issues before prior to that time. And that's all that started having I was concerned. I couldn't sit still. They had to give me ice packs and all of those things, and it still wasn't going down. And so I had to be rushed to the hospital, to the ICU, which was on the other end of the country, of the states. I mean, of the local government. Anyways, well, if those are no mainland and island, the place, how traffic can be, and it was during that rush hour. So that's what happened, and so that's what happened. And the recovery was very, very tedious. The recovery, because when I got to the ICU, there was serious my BP had skyrocketed to like 200, 110, and so the battle to save my life started. So this condition I'm talking about is the reason why we created this platform. And because we know that moms also have, it's not just the hypertension or the high blood pressure that they are battling or going through, that there are other things. They are still looking at how their bodies look. They are still thinking about how to take care of the baby, and still thinking of, so I just looked like, what were the things, what was I looking out for when I was going through my own condition, the condition at that time. What would I have wanted? Because what I really was looking out for at that time was, my face was dark. I was really, really dark, and I just wanted my complexion to come back. So I was just looking for how the cream to use and all of those things. So there were just a lot of things that I was struggling with. And that's the reason why I decided to create this community. I decided to, just bring different specialists that would actually come and talk to the women in the community and tell them, I'm a very practical and hands-on person. I want you to tell me what I should do, what I should stock up with, and just create habits that will help me to build a healthy lifestyle. So that is the reason why I created this special community. And what we have planned there, don't worry, it's going to be phenomenal. Like, it's literally phenomenal what we are planning for you all. So today I just decided that, okay, let me bring my friend Bellissima and let her come and share with us, because she's a diastasis recti expert. Let me see if she's here. How are you, Mama? Are you here? Hi, Eladoro, Abe, Pedro, Winifred. Thank you so much. Please share this live video with your friends, so let them know that we are here. Tell us where you're watching from. Emma is watching from Jos. I see you all. Miss Twamasi watching from Ghana. Hi. Just Enough Care watching from Lagos, Nigeria. I love you all. Thank you so much for showing up. Please let me know where you're watching us from and share the video. Okay, she's here. Okay. So my guest is a diastasis recti expert, Bellissima Fitz. Her name is Nkoma. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am so excited to have you. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. She's going to be putting us through how to shrink this mommy tummy. All right, how to shrink the mommy tummy, and it's going to be phenomenal. So, Nkoma, we're talking about how. Thank you so much for coming. You were talking about sharing stories, right? And that part really got to me, because that's the reason why I believe so much that as women that have gone through certain conditions or certain things, we should also tell those people that are struggling with those conditions that it is possible to come out of it, right? We should look at the bigger picture and help encourage women, because women are going through a lot. Like, can you just share your story on how you began this, how you started coaching people, specifically on diastasis recti?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Dala. Thanks for having me. when I got married, I felt that once I have my baby, that the reason my tummy would get big, was because of the pregnancy. And once I had my baby, my tummy would be flat again. And we had a lot of sports equipment at home. We had our bench, we had bicycles because my husband was a professional football player at the time and we were in Germany. So we had a lot of equipment in the house. So I felt once I have my baby, I'm going to work on. In fact, as we're stepping out of that hospital, my tummy is going to be flat. That was what I thought. And then I went through all the pregnancy classes and all that. And then I had a difficult birth. I was in labor for more than 4 days. And I had to be given a epidural for a vaginal birth. And then the next day, I stood up from the bed and my tummy was all over the place. I wasn't expecting that. My tummy was pendulous. That was what the doctor called my tummy. He called my tummy pendulous because it was pointed. I was shocked and disappointed because I'm this tall and elegant person. There's a way I love to dress, and I've had the baby is out, and my tummy was still there. So the doctor said he had to, have me assessed next day. And he did. And he told me I had abdominal muscle separation. I had five-finger diastasis recti. That's why my tummy is still big and that it had to be repaired and closed. That was my first time ever of hearing about diastasis recti. I always thought that mothers, after childbirth, they didn't want to take care of themselves. That was why in Nigeria, after giving birth, they had this big tummy. I didn't know there was a problem called diastasis recti. So he called a postpartum recovery specialist because doctors and nurses are not really trained. They are not trained to take care of diastasis recti. They just know what it is, but they don't know how to take care of it. So in the hospital, they have postpartum recovery specialists, diastasis recti repair experts employed by the hospital to take care of mothers on private insurance. I had private insurance, so I was lucky. So she was called in the next day and we started my exercise on the bed, and I was just shocked. That's all I have to say. I stayed in the hospital for 7 days, and when we were going home, when I was coming to the hospital, I had these very beautiful trousers and this cashmere top tie that I was going to wear when I'll be going home, looking hot and everything. The trouser, I couldn't zip it up. It was open. It was open, and the top I was wearing, my tummy was still, all over the place. So we got back home, and the hospital have done their own part. So it was up to us to pay the postpartum recovery specialist to continue training me at home and bear the cost or just leave it. So my husband decided to bear the cost. So she continued coming to the house, training me, started doing exercises. She was assessing me. And with time, my tummy started going down. It took some time because the epidural was giving me waist pain plus the diastasis recti. I was having all these weird symptoms because of the epidural and then the diastasis recti. So it took 3 months. After the first 3 months, it went down to 2 fingers. And from there, by the time I got to 6 months, my tummy was okay. The separation was no longer there. And I was like, what? So this is what women have been going through. So this is what my mother, my sister, my friends in Nigeria, everywhere. So this is what mothers have been going through, even in Germany. This is what they've been going through because a lot of people don't have, they're citizens, they don't have private insurance because it's quite expensive. So I was privileged to have that. So we have mothers even there with diastasis recti that didn't know what was going on. So I decided to go for training because, there's a difference when you're trained to heal and when you're trained to heal others. So I went for postpartum recovery training, diastasis recti repair training, prenatal training and all that in Germany, different institutions. And then I trained also in the US because I wanted to really understand these things so that when I take care of mom, I will do it from a place of evidence, not all these gimmicks and stuff. My trainer has never used postpartum belt. I didn't drink tea. The only tea I was taking was mint tea or chameleon tea to help me relax and sleep. I didn't do all this stuff they were doing in Nigeria. No hot water was pressed or nothing like that. It was just evidence-based, simple, clean thing. And I saw the results. So I was like, no, I have to go for more training for this. So I also went for training to become a nutrition coach, because there is a difference knowing about nutrition and knowing how to teach people to change the way they eat. Because when you come here, what you see is dieting, restrictive dieting. We were taught all these different protocols so that we know how to use it to change people's lifestyle. I also trained to become a wellness consultant. So that's why sometimes I talk about meditation, stress management, sleep, because all these things come together to heal.
Yeah.
And finances as well, because if you have diastasis recti or you have issues and you don't have money for that and you have an unreasonable husband, of course you're not going to take care of it. You're not going to take care of it. So I went for training for all this, and then when we came back to Nigeria, I was pregnant for my third baby, and we were in Niger Foundation. I found out there was nothing like antenatal there, because these big hospitals that are expensive, they don't, you just come, do your stuff and go. I noticed a lot of moms were confused, and I just started like teaching them. I had my third baby, my diastasis opened again, because of course the second baby opened again, I closed it, third baby opened again. So always open when you're pregnant, because that's what nature made it to be like. So after I had my third baby, I opened the first ever female only gym in Nigeria. The first ever. I trained only women. It was exclusively for women. So I trained them like that in the gym for like 5 years before we opened this very big gym we have now in Enugu. That I also train men, I train women, but most of the time I just focus on mothers. And right now, BBLB is all over the world. I coach women from all over the world. And it's not just when we talk about healing as mothers, there's a lot of things that is involved in our lifestyle. There's spirituality, there's sleep, there's meditation, there's a lot of things that comes into healing. That's why I always tell them, the reason you run around in circles is that you don't really understand what healing is all about. If you're healing and you're empty inside, you don't know how to meditate, there is no spirituality, nothing. Of course, it's going to affect you with all the things that is going on online. So it doesn't matter your religion to me. I teach you to get closer to God. I am a Christian. So of course, if you're not a Christian, I coach a lot of people that are not Christians. I coach Muslims. I coach people that are into Hinduism, Buddhists, and everything. Get closer to your God. Understand that there is a power there that is looking out for you. And trust that everything is working out for you, that you'll be okay. Because when you leave yourself alone in this world and say, there's a lot of things about motherhood
You be tossed around, just like just like the Bible says, you'll be being tossed around with every wind of doctrine. That's exactly the state of what most moms, where most moms are. So what we see in this fitness industry, in our industry, is just there's a barrage of information, and it's enough to just make women confused. And so when I started coaching too, like 7 years ago, and I started with, and still stick with the fact that you are first a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in a body. Don't just isolate the body and think that, oh, it's just my body that I need to take care of. You need to first be centered in your spirit, then have information for yourself. Know that you are unique. You know that you are you are not like the other person, and even every pregnancy is not going to be the same thing, so
It's not.
these are the things that we need. I know most people just want to be like, oh, please let me just shrink this tummy, let me just, I like I mean, but like, yeah, just say that, can we still be lucky to shrink the tummy after 5 years? So
Yes, you can.
this is
There
very
is
essential.
no
Yeah, take that
there's
question.
there's no limit to when you can rebuild your body. The only thing is like if you leave it, if maybe you were 3 fingers and you had like if my diastasis was 5 fingers when I had my first baby, if I had not repaired it, it will start expanding from that 5 fingers. I have mothers now that when I assess them, you can't find it, 10 fingers goes in and there's still space. And they were waiting until they have all their babies. Some of them have 8 fingers, some of them have 7 fingers, and the wider your diastasis, the more the symptoms you're going to have, the more it will impact your quality of life. The bigger your tummy is going to get. So it's not about can I shrink it after 5 years. You can shrink it, you can repair your diastasis recti, repair your pelvic floor. Sometimes we just focus on the tummy. I
Mm,
coach mothers. We have seen things.
mm,
There are people that because they didn't take care of their diastasis recti, their muscles, their pelvic floor became so weak, they developed prolapse. So their uterus or their bladder or their bowel has fallen out from the pelvic floor and is inside their vagina. For some of them, it has fallen out. Like somebody came to me, she was in an exercise program. They were told to, I don't know what they were doing, but she felt something was dropping out of her. So she
wow.
now remembered that there was a time I did a live session or something on prolapse. She sent me a message and I assessed her. I told her it was beyond my expertise.
Whoa.
Now, there was nothing wrong with her before she started that exercise program. But
Can we
sometimes,
can we see
in
that?
Nigeria, the fitness and wellness industry is not regulated. You can't train
Exactly.
in Germany. You can't train anybody in Germany if you're not certified very well. Oh. You have to be a fitness trainer first. You have to be a nutrition coach first before you become a postpartum recovery specialist. So you have to know about anatomy. You have to know these things. You can't just see somebody just because somebody trained you. You have a weight loss. You have a meal plan. Somebody gave you and then you
Wow.
decide that you're now a fitness trainer. Tell them to go on detox for 7 days, and then they will lose water weight, 5 kg or 3 kg. And then at the end of the day, you don't teach them anything else. So you can shrink your tummy, you can repair your pelvic floor, but remember that the more you leave it, the wider it will get. And it's not just that tummy that is affected. Like I always tell you, there are 3 muscles that are affected: your abdominal muscles, your pelvic floor muscles, and then your back muscles. That's why you have waist pain, because your back muscle is connected to that tummy. That's why you leak urine, you have painful intimacy, you have constipation, you're going for detox. Diastasis recti is the cause of your constipation and bloating. So all these things are connected. So when you don't take care of it, you continue running around in circle
Thank
until you're ready to work on it.
thank you so much for putting so much light in on that matter. For those of us that are just joining in and wondering, oh, what is this diastasis recti or recti, or what exactly are we even talking about? It is she's going to go full on, but I'm just going to explain it in the layman language. When as women you give birth, right? There's this, and the baby grows in the womb. It separates your abs. When people say, let me just break it down, it's so much. It's your abs separates to give room for the baby to grow, right? So
Yeah.
after you give birth to the baby, they are supposed to, they are supposed to come back together, but it won't just come back by itself. It's not that intelligent to come back by itself. So you have to help it to come back. So when people say, hey, snap back, I snap back in this, I snap back in that. Yes, some people can come back, but like she said, the pelvic floor, your pelvic floor might not be strong enough. So when you see that most women struggle to have sex when after pregnancy, is that intimacy is not there, because they just feel like my body is ruined, like my body is is not the same way it used to be. Your back, you have back pain, serious back pain. You have your pelvic floor is in a mess. The abs are in a mess. So I'm over to you, Nkoma. Please explain diastasis recti in the language that my people can understand too.
Okay. Just see your tummy like, let's say you're wearing a shirt or a shirt that has a zip in front. You know, when you have that zip, there's the two sides in that zip, the left side, and then you have the right side. So that's the way your abdominal muscles are. Then there is a white line in the middle that, is it the teeth of the zip or whatever that is in the middle. Now, during pregnancy, your tummy, everything was together, your muscles were together. But as your baby starts growing, it starts exerting pressure on your tummy. There's no other way for that tummy to separate, you know, to make room for your baby to grow. If it's not meant that way, God is so wonderful. If he didn't make it that way, the tummy will just burst, you know. So he made it that those muscles will be able to separate. So the muscle starts separating. As your baby is growing, the muscle keeps separating and separating. And this diastasis recti normally starts happening from the 3rd trimester. So the muscle starts separating. And it becomes, that's why your tummy remains big. After you've given birth, those muscles do not go back. Maybe if they separated up to, let's say, 7 fingers during your pregnancy, after childbirth, they might come back to maybe 6 or 5 when you're breastfeeding, because when you're breastfeeding, your womb will be contracting. But after that, it can't really come back together on its own anymore. So that's why after childbirth, you see a lot of mothers, the tummy is just big. It's because those muscles separated. And when those muscles separate, it means your tummy is bigger. You also have more appetite. You eat more. You drink water. And whenever you drink water or eat any little thing, it gets big again, because the zip that we talked about, that zip is open. It's not zipped up. So what we need to do is to close that zip again. And you can't, it doesn't go back on its own. You have to help it to go back on its own. That's why most of the time, these exercises that you do, like sit-ups, crunches, pull-ups, jumping jack or whatever, it's causing more problem, because the thing is open and it's separated, and then you're crunching. When you crunch, it pushes the organs up. And then when you keep crunching like that, it causes hernia. Because when you have diastasis recti, it means the abdominal walls, they're already weak. They're like nylon, you know, that they are very thin. They are not strong anymore. So any little pressure you apply on it so much, it can cause those abdominal walls to develop a hole. You know, diastasis recti is the separation of the abdominal muscles. Now, hernia is when those muscles and the walls become weak, and then there is a tear, and the organ starts pushing out. So diastasis recti is not just a cosmetic thing. It affects your quality of life. So that's why mothers, once you give birth, 100% of mothers have diastasis recti. You're not exempt from it. Once you're a mother, you have a measure of diastasis recti, because there's no way that baby would have developed and grown and been healthy without those muscles separating. So if you're here and you're a mother, you have diastasis recti. The only thing is the degree of the separation and the symptoms, you know, you have. Once you're a mother, 3rd trimester, you have diastasis recti. And also when you're giving birth, vaginal birth, when you're pushing with that labor, pressure and everything, those muscles separate more. And then if you have C-section, it's even more, because the doctors, when they cut the tummy open, they have to manually separate. Remember, those muscles were already separated from pregnancy. So during surgery, manually, they further separate it so that they can get to the baby. So when you give birth and you're doing stressful things to your body, tying belts, putting pressure on a tummy that has gone through so much trauma, you're doing more harm than good to yourself. I know you desire to rebuild your body, but most of the time, you're doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
You're doing it the wrong way, especially if you had C-section. You should handle your tummy with care.
Awesome. Okay. I
Yeah.
hope that we are all learning from this, and I really want, not just this information is not just for moms, right? It is for every woman and every man too, so that
Yeah.
you understand what is going on in your wife's body, and you can also assist, and that's the reason why I actually created this community, because I realized that, like Nkoma said, this thing is expensive. To learn it is expensive, and because of the information out there that is not even helping people. People just
Yeah.
want to look for the cheapest this thing, because they want to snap back, and they are
Mm.
they are causing more harm than good, and eventually it tells on them, and it ruins everything, including, because if you are not able to have sex with your husband after after pregnancy, it affects intimacy, it affects
Yeah.
your confidence level. You just feel like, what's all this and all of that. So it's one of the reasons why I decided to start this community, so that we can get more, and get push out awareness for women, for moms, that you can actually heal all round. Like, you can heal in your home, you can heal handling your children, you can heal, you know every part of you has to be balanced, because we're talking about diastasis recti now. It's also linked to high blood pressure. Some women, they are battling the diastasis recti. They are also having high blood pressure as a result of pregnancy and all of. So there's a lot of things that are just involved. So this community, right? This If you are here and you have not started following us, you need to start following us, because what we want to do is to create awareness. We want you to be your sister's keeper. We want you to be able to share this information to somebody else. So when you see a woman that has a big belly, you don't just disdain and say this woman does not know how to take care of herself. You don't just talk like that, because that alone, you're affecting the mental health of the woman. So we all need to work together. You see a woman that just giving birth, you need to help her. You need to tell her. You need to, these things that we are saying now, help us be our mouths, be our
Yeah.
mouthpiece in that location. She might not be able to afford a postpartum recovery specialist, but she'll be able to, at least with the small information, she will not make the matter worse. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
this community that we are creating now, where we have donors that are helping us, so that we can push this message. We're creating classes and course. We want to create an app, so that we can help women to, at least the one you can do it. If you have money to go and pay someone like Nkoma, you can go all out, go to her physical gym. I refer people to her, because there's something in this fitness industry that I've noticed, right? How people just hoard information to their chest, and I think it's an African problem, where people just
Yeah.
want to feel like, hey, it's only me. You're stealing my clients. Yeah, it's because you do not have that. You don't have self-esteem. You're not confident about who you are and the value that you bring to the table. I know the value that I bring to the table. I know that I'm in pursuit of a woman that is totally whole. And so if I see someone that aligns with my vision, I would refer the person to you and say, okay, please help me take care of this woman. Once she finishes, if she's able to come, if she feels like you are okay, she's okay with you, and she can afford your first service, fantastic. If she's not okay, she can come back. There's no the bed is the sky is so big. There's so much abundance. I have an abundance mindset. People that always hoard things to their chest have a limiting mindset. So that aside, that one's a story for another day entirely. But now we are here for
Yeah.
for how to shrink the mommy tummy. So what are the specific steps that we need to take, right? What are the
Mm.
specific steps? Like, now a woman has just come with that big, in fact, in Nigeria here, we don't, some doctors don't even know what to even, yeah. It is well.
No.
We'll do our part. We'll do our own bit, our own part. So
Yeah.
what's that thing that she needs to do immediately she gets back home? What's that thing she needs to do immediately she gets back home, after she feels like she has the
After she has
she knows
given
she has
birth,
it?
The next thing for her to, like I said, doctors, I have like every month, I always have doctors in BBLB. I take care of a lot of doctors. They don't know, sometimes when I talk about the diastasis recti, they know about the rectus abdominal muscle. They don't know about the separation. So when you talk to them about that, they now realize that's the challenge they are having as well. So when you rely on your doctor to take care of you after childbirth, tell you that you have diastasis recti or that your pelvic floor is not okay, you're wasting your time. When you go for 6 weeks, what they will check is whether your womb is going back the way it should be, and then they check, just check your breast, and they tell you, okay, you can continue with intimacy. Like one day I was telling my husband, I think that it's the man that, said you have to go for 6 weeks, that they are looking out for themselves because they've waited for like the 8th month, 9th month, no intimacy. So they just tell you 6 weeks, you're ready for intimacy. And that's all most of the time that they check. And then you go back and then you start making mistakes again. So the first thing you have to do after childbirth in the hospital before you go home, ask the doctor to assess you. I have videos on my page on how to assess yourself. So ask the doctor to assess you so that you will know how many finger diastasis recti that you have, because you already have diastasis recti. That one is for sure. So that you know the extent. And then also ask them, not then because you're still sensitive in that area. When you go back for that 6 weeks, ask them to assess your pelvic floor. What they are checking is to make sure that everything is where it should be. Because sometimes when people develop first-degree prolapse, they don't know. Sometimes they think it's hemorrhoid. When they have the bowel prolapse, they think it's hemorrhoid because it presents like hemorrhoid. They won't know that it's the rectum that is actually falling out. So you ask them to assess your pelvic floor so that you know exactly what's going on. Because when these things are not assessed and you even go for intimacy, it can make things worse. And now when they check you for all those things, don't tie all those belts or drink all those, whatever it is that they give you to drink, please. There's this normal thing that your mother might give you to drink, this Oda, I think it's Oda. There's this, that's just normal. They use it to make your pepper soup and whatever. You can even take it now normally. You can take that, it's okay. But when it gets past that, and they still start giving you slimming tea, I've talked about this slimming tea a lot, that some of them contain Indian hemp. Now, so some women are actually taking drugs and they don't know. You take it and you get energized. And because the quantity is very small, they are not mandated to say that it's there. Because if it's lower than 5%, they are not, I think it's lower than 1% or whatever. And so they can put it more than 6% and you won't know what you're drinking. A lot of women lost their job in the US because they were taking this herbal tea that is supposed to slim them and make them, stronger and fitter and more energetic. When they started losing their job because they were testing positive to drugs, they now checked over US that the one common thing amongst all these women is that all of them, they were all taking that particular tea. So the government on their own, this happened last year, the government on their own had to take the tea for test, and they found out there was marijuana inside that tea. They brought it into Nigeria as well. Some of the people that later became my clients were taking that tea. So some people get addicted and they tell you that they stop taking that tea, they start getting tired, this one and that, because you're on drugs and you don't even know. And some people will go for surgery, repackage a tea from China, had it labeled, and bring it back and tell you that it's the tea they are taking. And you take it and tie the belt and nothing happens. I think sometimes we know the truth. As mothers, we know the truth. But we hope against hope that the truth we're seeing is not the truth. So you take this slimming tea, it doesn't work, you take another one. So once it gets past those normal things that your mother uses to cook your soup or whatever, please don't do that. Nice. Don't harm yourself in the quest to rebuild your body. Don't do that. Yeah. Do it the right way. See a specialist, first of all, so that the person can assess you, because when you come to me, it's not just diastasis recti that we assess. There's a lot of things that we assess. I've had some coaches online that they're also doing diastasis recti stuff that came to me and wanted me to train them. And I told them, first of all, before I train you, you have to go through the process I went through. You have to become a personal trainer. You have to know about the anatomy and all those things before you get into postpartum recovery. They said it's too expensive. And then you end up harming people and you tell them to use belts. If you're sure of your process, like I always tell you, come to my program, not tie belts, and you will be seeing results from all over the world. I'm that sure because I trained and certified, and I keep going for recertification and retraining every year. And I pay in thousands of dollars and euros, and I don't mind because I want you to be okay. What's the point of telling you to do jumping jacks and telling you to tie belts and packaging one thing and giving you, and at the end of the day, your kidney or your liver or these things fail? So go for assessment first.
Yeah.
When you go for 6 weeks, tell your doctor to check your pelvic floor. Tell them to check your diastasis recti. Tell them to really touch you and make sure that your abdominal walls, that they are okay. When they tell you these things, they can't take care of diastasis recti. You still have to come to us. So if you decide you want to come to me, when you come, I'll check other things that the doctors didn't check. And then that's why BBLB, my program, is one-on-one. I don't do group coaching because it's not what this mother comes with that the other mother will come with. It's not the lifestyle of this mother that is the lifestyle of this other mother. It's not the health status of this mother that is the health status of the other mother. So I have to prepare each program for each client to make sure that everybody is okay. That's why you see different moms, different challenges, and they still achieve their goal. So if you come to me, there are a lot of things I have to make sure that it's okay. Then I prepare your program and then give you the support and the care. And you have access to me every day. Every single day, we have video calls. You know, it's a family. You'll be fine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Someone is asking, after her delivery in 2017, her tummy wasn't big until when she started family planning and increased in size. Her tummy protruded, and over time, like she was pregnant again. So what do you have to say? I know that this might have to do with hormonal this thing as a result of the family planning stuff. So this is where we need to also work with the doctors and the postpartum specialists. Like she said, we all have this is recti. It's just that it's not showing, it's not amplified. So please speak to that. Speak to that.
If you notice that your tummy just started getting big on its own, it might not just be diastasis recti, it might be fibroid. That's why when you come to me and just tell me this kind of story, I tell you to go and see a doctor. Go and see a doctor so that they know that there is nothing else going on in your tummy. Because for your tummy to just start getting, if you tell me that you started getting fatter all over your body, yeah, your birth control, whatever, can cause that. But when it's just the tummy that is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, that can be hormone, or there can be an underlying cause. So see a doctor. Stop coming online and somebody will tell you to go and do a detox. I've told you now, go and see a doctor. It doesn't take anything away from me. If it's beyond my expertise, I tell you, because at the end of the day, what we want is for you to be okay. So if your tummy is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, there is an underlying issue. If it's not your hormone, it might be fibroid, it might be something else. So see your doctor.
Okay, it's not, you don't need to be afraid. It's not something. Know the underlying problem. Know it, yeah, so that they can prescribe the right this thing to you, and you know that you are going towards your healing process, and you are not running around in circles, like clueless on what is going on in your body, and just
ginger and lemon. They will tell you to drink ginger and lemon. That will be fine.
Yeah, you said what?
They will tell her to drink ginger and lemon, that the tummy will get flatter. And you go and start drinking ginger and lemon instead of going to the hospital and seeing a doctor that is a specialist. They'll do a lot of that. They can do a scan. They'll find out what's going on. See a doctor. It's not normal for your tummy to just start getting bigger and bigger on a continuous basis. See your doctor. There's nothing to be afraid of.
And one thing I think every woman should take away from this session is that it's okay to go and see your doctor and know the exact questions that you need to ask. And this is one listen, now I'm going to invite one of my doctor friends. I think I saw her here, Dr. Phoebe Ajayi. She's a medical doctor in the UK. She's going to come, and she has talked about she has a book that she authored, and these things are okay when it's okay to see your doctor, and it's okay to know the kind of questions you need to ask your doctor. So most women are just clueless. They don't even know what to do. They don't even know where to start from. After you've given birth, the next thing is that you want to snap back. Snap back where? How? With who?
Like a rubber band.
Who gave you who gave you the template? Who created this whole idea, right? You own your body. You should know what is going on in your body. And if you do not know, go and meet a specialist who has studied the woman body. A gynecologist will explain to you, okay, this is what is going on. This is how. So begin to ask questions so that you know exactly how to begin to heal yourself, right? You understand what is going on inside your body. So please, even if you had your baby, someone is asking, can you still get flat tummy 3 months postpartum? You can get it 10 years postpartum. And this is one thing that most people don't understand. As long as you are not pregnant, you are still in the postpartum phase, right? That's one thing that most women don't. They feel like, oh, postpartum is maybe when my child, after my child is a toddler, after the baby has reached 5 years, or after.
Once you give birth,
once you've given birth,
you're postpartum, and you don't stop being postpartum.
See when you're pregnant again, right? So don't give yourself time. Don't give yourself a timeline to want to lose the weight or want to reduce the tummy. You are getting to understand yourself in this journey of healthy living, right? You are getting to understand what's the capacity your body can take. And that's why I'm a proponent of do what you can do. Start where you are. Use what you have, right? Somebody was asking how much is the service. BBLB is 300,000. Happy? Please tell us how much it is. Yes, 300,000 naira. Because it is
300,000 naira, $700.
So these things are expensive because the certification that goes on inside, the work that goes into these things they are well researched, and so they are tailored to each. So when you are going into a place and you're telling you into a group and they're telling you do this one size fits all, fitness is not one size fits all. It is never ever one size fits. These are the truths that people will not tell you because they want to capitalize on your ignorance and keep selling to you things that do not work. They will not tell you what they are doing behind the scenes. We are here. We are here to teach you practical things that you need to know. They don't like us. They don't like people like us because we will come and tell you the truth. They will come and tell you that this is what you can do. This is what you can do. So if your case is very extreme and there's serious, go and meet people like Nkoma. Get them. And Nkoma, please, I hope that you're going to. This is me extending a hand of I don't even know what to call it now. Please, you're going to come to our NGO, because what we're creating is a community where at least we can get specialists to come in once in a while to tell us, to give us practical videos, what to do. So if you know that your own case is intense or critical, then you can save up money. God will provide, and go and meet her specially. But the general things that we as moms can do, to help us on our own journey, what we can do with our own, here and there, what we can, after we have gone to the hospital, after we've gone to the doctor to check, and we want to be able to equip women to be able to do these things by themselves, at least to know what to ask, to know the direction. They say who ask question no go miss, don't they miss road, abi? So if
Yes.
you ask the right questions, you will be able to know what to do, right? So
Yeah.
all this, don't be carried away, especially as a Christian, a believer. Do not be tossed around with every wind of doctrine. Bible has said it. So it doesn't only mean it's not only about sin or whatever. It is also in things like this, because the world will bombard you with information. They will come and tell you different things. I'm a very practical person, so anything I'm teaching you is practical. It's how you can take it and begin to implement it in your personal life, in your family, and all. So let me see if I have any question. Okay, someone said to ask a question that she delivered triplets last year but was diagnosed of DR. I was told that there are specific exercises to be done. Can you recommend the safe ones? So if you follow Nkoma on Bellissima Fit, but if you follow Bellissima Fit, you can just click the profile up here and tap and follow her. You see, I'm sure she shares some exercises. You can also follow me on my fitness page, the Fleximom Coach. You can begin to do simple things where you are, taking a walk. Just do things that will strengthen your body every day, and it's not in jumping, it is not in doing strenuous exercises. Start where you are. You could start like when I had in 2015, after I had my second son and I had the eclampsia, the pregnancy induced hypertension. My back was a mess. Like I had terrible back pain, and I knew I had the cyst erectile, but it was terrible. So all I could do was walk. That's all I could do. I would take a walk. I started researching and doing my own, everything that I learned through research. I learned with personal experience. I learned by certification, right? So if you know you cannot afford the big this thing, you will pay this money either ways. You must pay the money, right? So started taking walks from 20 minutes to 40 minutes. It started increasing to 1 hour, and like that. Then I began to research and begin to see, like Nkoma gave an analogy of zip. So you are doing workouts that will help you to zip, you're from your lower body upwards, not the crunches that they tell you to keep doing because you want to get abs. You're taking it like as if you're zipping up your jeans. Those are the kind of routines that you do to help to strengthen your pelvic floor, and they're just very customized stuff that if it's not a serious problem like the prolapse and all of those things, these are the basic small things, and you have to be patient, please, ladies. I know it's not something that women like to hear. You have to be patient with yourself, and that's one thing I love to do with my clients, is to give them that accountability. I tell them the least plan you can do with me is 3 months, and it is one-on-one, because I am teaching you habits. I'm teaching you how to journal. I'm teaching you how to be accountable to yourself. I'm teaching you how to see progress that you are making, right? These are the things that you need to begin to do, not just what you saw on the gram. You carry and you jump. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. So Olainka Emeje says, I had a major surgery, umbilical hernia and incisional hernia. Had these surgeries 10th of June, if I'm correct. She said her stomach was big, like 6 months pregnant. Now, after the surgery, stomach is like she's 2 months pregnant, so it's reducing. What exercise can she do now? Over to you. Over to you, Nkoma.
Like I said, when you go to my page, you'll see exercises that are there. The exercises I post are exercises general exercises that is safe. because I don't know your history. I don't know about your diastasis recti. I don't know about your pelvic floor. So the least I can do for you is tell you the things to avoid. But to tell you what you can do without knowing anything about you, I don't do that. It's just like coming to a doctor and telling the doctor, I have a headache, and the doctor will just give you paracetamol. They will ask you questions. They will ask you when did the headache start? Is it from one part of your head, or is it your eyes? When does it normally? They will ask you questions to know what is causing that headache. Because it might not be just headache. It might be that you're hypertensive and you don't know. There are lots of things that can cause headache. So when you have that headache and just carry paracetamol, it will give you temporary relief and start again. So that's how you know experts. We don't give generalized answers like that. Oh, do this, do that, do the other one. If you go on YouTube, you see a lot of heel slides there. You will do it from now till 3 years' time. Nothing will happen. I have videos on YouTube as well. I have videos on my page. As an expert, you're not allowed to give generalized answer. You only do that for your clients. Anybody you go and they tell you, start doing this, you're in a group, you're doing all sorts of things, it's not expertise. I have my coaches and the institutions on my page. They come and check the things I'm doing. They can revoke my certification. Yes, they can revoke it. Just like that. I train corporate organizations, so I protect myself. I have a company that is under corporate affairs. I'm careful because you can sue me and I can sue you as well. Some of these things online, they don't care, they just do it. I have a lot of things to protect. So I can't come online and just tell you this is the exercise you do. What I can tell you is what you shouldn't do to protect yourself. But when it comes to what you can do, you can go to my page. There are lots of exercises there you can do, but I will not recommend because you're not my client. I don't know your history. So I can't just tell you go and start doing this one. But what you know that you shouldn't be doing, stop doing crunches. When you do crunches, it can add to your waist pain, it can cause urine leaks, and it will open up your diastasis recti more. So don't do sit-ups and crunches. Don't do planking. When you do planking and you stay like that, it's like gravity is pulling everything towards that separation. Like everything is down on that separation. So it opens it more. Very soon they will tell you it's Christmas time to have a banging body. Everybody will start doing 200 sit-ups in the morning and then planking 300. And then at the end of the day, you make the matter worse. And then doing jumping jacks is not also good because when you jump up like that, it opens up the body. It opens up the diastasis recti. And when you're jumping, it's putting pressure on your pelvic floor. When you put your hand on your tummy right now and then cough, just try it and cough. You feel the pressure, like your tummy goes like this as if it's opening. So you can imagine when you're doing jumping jacks or when you're doing crunches or sit-ups, you're doing more harm than good to your tummy. So these are the exercises you shouldn't do. Another thing is that I will say this over and over again. You see belt? Belt doesn't do anything, nothing. You see all those clients on my page, none of them use belt, none. Whether you're working with me online or you're working with me physically in my gym, I don't use belt. We don't do detox. We don't use slimming tea. All these things are gimmicks online gimmicks that people just use to confuse you. Yeah. Once you start the program, they'll put you on 7 days detox and restrict everything restrictable. Yeah. And then you lose water weight and you'll be shouting, I lost 5 kg. The next week you add 1 kg, the upper one you add 1.5. Before you know it, you add that 5 kg. At the end of the day. Yeah, you get frustrated and you say it doesn't work. And sometimes when they give you the belt, they will give you diet plan and give you exercise. So what is doing the work? Is it the belt or the exercise or the food you're eating? I think we should be wise. Yeah. We should be wise because the truth is there staring at you. If the belt is really working, why are they telling you to do exercise? And where are they giving you a meal plan? Then they should just use the belt and let your tummy get flatter. So I don't do detox. I don't do tea. I don't do slimming tea and belt and waist trainer. all those compression, they are the same thing. I always tell people, when you wear stockings, tight stockings, what happens? There is this tightness around your ankle. Yes. And then when you remove the stockings, after some time, everything comes back. It's the same thing with belts. You tie belts.
Can you hear me, Kama?
Yes.
Sorry, we have our time has run out, and I don't want this
Okay.
to go. All right, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I want to, yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.